Hey guys, so I'm responding to an Instagram direct message I received here. This first question is, what are 3 things that you wish you knew when you were younger? So I think this is a big question for a lot of people, and you only know the answers once you get the knowledge. But there are a few things that I wish I had worked on more when I was growing up as a player, as a junior player, that would have helped me more when I was competing. I think the first thing that comes to mind would have been being a better spot server. And what I mean by that is, what is your most accurate pace range? How often can you hit a target on command with a first serve? I'm not talking about a second serve, I'm saying a first serve. And the reason for that is I grew up spending a lot of time hitting big first serves. That was my goal. I really wanted to hit the ball hard. But a lot of the time I think I sacrificed my accuracy just to hit that serve hard. And if I had gone back and trained myself, I think I would have put more emphasis on, how accurate can I be to this specific target? Because you look at, your Federer, Nadal, your Djokovic's, they all have a pace range of around 116, 118 miles an hour, where that is their most accurate range. And anything outside of that, they tend to lose a little bit of accuracy. So there are certainly times that you want to go big, but to keep the pressure on the returner, you want to make a high volume of quality first serves, and taking the pace down and working at about a 75% range, I think I would have benefited a lot from that. And when you think about match play, if you can get ahead in the score using that 75%, 80% first serve to good locations, you're going to put the most pressure on the returner to make a return. Anything that they don't return well, you can clean up with the next ball or the next couple of balls. But it keeps a lot more pressure on that returner rather than going big and then potentially missing that serve and giving the returner a look at a second serve. So number 1, I think, is I would have done more spot serving with my first serve and worked a bit better at hitting my locations so that I had more confidence when I was under pressure, knowing I could hit this spot with a 75-80% serve and really keep the pressure on my opponent rather than the pressure being on me to make that first serve. The second thing I can think of is definitely defense out of the ad side. I'm a typical type of player where I use the serve, the forehand, and if a player could turn things on me, I typically had a tough time playing defense out of the ad side. A lot of this has to do with movement, being comfortable hitting open stance, being comfortable not just using the slice. I think I relied a lot defensively hitting a slice, and if I had gone back, I would have done a lot more work moving laterally to the ad side, hitting out of open stance, hitting out of semi-open stance when the ball is heavier and deeper. So I think really defending my backhand, working out of the ad court was something specifically that I think I could have done a lot better when I was growing up that would have helped me in match play. So that's something that you don't want to neglect. Everybody likes to play offense, everybody likes to work on their show shots. But when the chips are down and it's a tough point, there's times you're really going to have to rely on your movement and your defense as well. And the last thing I can think of is return a serve. I mean, I really didn't distinctly have a return routine. That's something I work with all my players on now, is how do they approach the ball with their feet? What are they looking to do? What's the intent behind the return? Are they blocking it? Are they playing in close blocking and using the server's pace? Have they decided to back up to have more of a normal size backswing and hit the ball a bit heavier and higher? Or are they trying to bait the server into different locations? So they're all lots of variables that you have at your disposal. And I think servers, get really comfortable with a player that does the same thing over and over. So I would have liked to gone back and worked a lot more on my return specifically. I think one small area, and I think a lot of players with more extreme grips will resonate with me, but on the stretch forehand return, my grip was semi-Western and sometimes even a little bit more than that. So when I was on the stretch, I had a real tough time squaring the racket face against the ball to block it. So that made it very hard when I was on the reach. It puts your hand in an awkward position with the palm to the sky if you're going to be returning out of a Western grip, or sometimes semi-Western, a little bit closer. But that's an area that I think I would have potentially maybe even changed my grip on the forehand return. I don't think a lot of players think to do that. They think maybe their forehand grip and their returner serve forehand grip has to be the same. For a specific shot, it doesn't. You can certainly have an Eastern grip, for example, for a returner serve on the forehand and then switch back to semi-Western in the rally. But that's one of the areas I think I would have got a lot of benefit out of if I had worked on that more. But yeah, the three things I think I really would have gone back and done differently, and I hope if you're in a position that I was in, maybe this can help you and you can spend a little bit of time working on those things and improving your game.